Now, ladies and gentlemen, Counter-Strike within the last week has been in a very interesting spot to say the least. From bugs to now bans for the returning teleportation bug and the brand new super jump, to CS2 maps now getting the Breaking Bad yellow tint effect added in, Trust Factor's official return and now being turned on, the market rising, and well, that's just the start. Welcome back everyone to the episode of CS2 News. This is the series where we break down all and everything Counter-Strike from the market, gameplay, VAC, the pro scene, and well, a bunch more. Today's video is going to be more CS2 update focused than anything else, since most of the content and things we discuss in today's video has been caused or needs a fix after the most recent updates the devs for CS2 have recently sent out. But before we go any further, I want to give a big thanks to SkinSwap for sponsoring today's video. SkinSwap is a CS2 site where you can buy, sell, and trade your CS items. And right now they're giving you a free skin worth up to $50 once you've completed your first trade. To start trading, all you have to do is select the skins you no longer want, pick the new items, and watch them fall into your inventory. With just a few clicks, you can also instantly cash out or buy skins using a payment method of your choice. With an inventory that holds a wide variety of skins, users can enjoy SkinSwap's daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. Thanks again to SkinSwap for sponsoring today's video. If interested, the link will be at the top of the description down below. Now, firstly, for today's video, we're going to break down CS2's most recent update for the things you maybe missed, what got changed and fixed that maybe wasn't also included in the blog post. Now, for starters, I want to head in the miscellaneous tab for the very last point, where the devs describe a sway problem. Now, this problem was fixed, and it actually originated from the last couple of updates, where for whatever reason, your weapon would sway when you were turning very quickly, or sometimes just looking at a corner. Your weapon in your game would feel a little bit more unnatural than it was before. But another issue that wasn't added in the blog post wasn't really talked about all too much, aside from Thor CS2 mentioning this. Taking a deep dive into the community map Grail and that map's release notes, we can see that the devs for that map, well, only made one tweak, which then Valve later published this update, pushed this map out the way it was, but we'll go into that later about quality control. Now, if the devs for this map only fixed clipping, can someone explain to me why Grail now has a Breaking Bad type of filter where now everything is yellow/orange? Now, it's not my PC, hundreds of people have reported the exact same problem. It's just, why is this here and why does it look so bad? Visibility on this map is practically unplayable and is pretty much horrendous. And for players like myself who also have digital vibrance up, the film grainy type of effect now on top of the orangish tint is 10 times worse than, well, I don't even know what to compare it to. Now, my point is that hopefully this just was a bug and it does get changed in the future, because if it doesn't, I will probably never touch this map ever again. But like a lot of bugs within CS2, how do these even get through the initial scan to see what Valve devs are actually putting out? I'm assuming they don't really test too intensively for when they push stuff out for CS2, especially for community maps. So it begs the question, could some sort of community map maker put out a scam to do something pretty bad for the CS community and Valve just pushes it out because they don't know any better, because they don't test their own updates? I'm not saying that would happen, but I think there's actually a pretty decent possibility of that happening if someone were to try it. Because one of the biggest complaints that I've had along, well, with the entire CS community, I feel like, is, well, from the start of CS2, but really it's been super bad as of recently, especially with the Animgraph 2 update. Ever since then, things are just not being tested, I feel like, at least the way they were when CS2 first launched, not to mention CSGO. I get the dev teams are completely different, but with the recent rumors probably being true that there's only 5 people working on CS2 at any given time, and most of the time, well, it makes a little bit more sense, but it's not really fair to the people who play your game on a daily basis and bring you billions of dollars a year. And well, this next topic in today's video is somewhat in the same area, which is the new super jump bug and the old teleportation bug, well, once again returning. At this point in time, these are still here, at least depending on how you play the game and where you play CS2. It seems like as of right now on official Valve servers, this problem has been fixed, but for third-party clients such as Faceit, people still may face these problems, which it now has been stated by Faceit officially that if you do any sort of bug that's one of these two, you are now facing up to a 2-year ban. So take that as you will and be careful, because in a sense this is cheating. For those who don't know what's been happening, or maybe you've been living under a rock, the super jump bug is a brand new bug inside CS2 where it seems like it's only caused on certain maps with certain spots and certain boosts. Let's just say you'd be or boost a player, they'd jump and they'd fly into another dimension. This is just one of those things. Yes, I understand bugs happen, but how does something this big and this broken slip through the cracks and not get fixed for 2 to 3 days? Because guys, if there was a bug where, let's just say you got free CS2 cases, free CS2 keys, or free skins, Valve would send an update within minutes, banning players and removing all those skins from their account. Just food for thought. Now, the teleportation bug with inside CS2 was actually in the early launch of Counter-Strike 2 and is done by certain commands and, well, just really creates such a hectic server. But what I will say about these new quote-unquote new bugs with inside CS2 is that these would make a hell of a fun game mode for the game and would really change things up. Because if players are having more fun with the one-off bugs that we're receiving that are just kind of falling through the cracks because the devs don't want to put in the effort to scan what they're putting out, and they don't want to put out new game-changing and feature-heavy content, that's a problem. Now, stepping aside from harping on Valve is after CS2's latest update is of course trust factor. It seems to be back and working, just not in the way players intended. Now, some players have reported who are actually great players who never TK, team flash, kick anyone, the whole spiel. Well, they can't play with certain people right now and are limited to what they can do because of their trust factor, well, negatively affecting, well, them playing the game. Because when they try and queue, it says they have a bad trust factor. Now, this, in my opinion, should see a fix soon, but it begs the question by many of if trust factor has even been enabled up until this point. Has it been up until now that CS2's trust factor has been turned on? In my opinion, I think it was turned on and was on when CS2 first launched. It just maybe wasn't a visual indicator. Maybe it was more of a shadow system. But this is another one of those things you have to ask the question why Valve devs decided to do and mess with this for no reason at a random time, especially if this is really going nowhere, unless we're getting some sort of major update for VAC, which I don't really see happening, but who knows. Now, closing today's video, I would personally expect an update for CS2 possibly today. If not then maybe this next week, where we're gonna see all these bugs being fixed, getting more clarity on trust factor, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the orange tint on Grail will officially be gone. And I do want to also throw this in here as well, because the Austin Major sale started so late this year, new content with probably a case and an armory refresh, maybe new features, could and will be coming soon. Not to mention the last major for 2025 is going to be arriving within the next couple of months. I would expect for the Austin stickers to be removed in the near future. Let me know what you guys think. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your day. Stay positively sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.